Hello everyone and welcome to the ScreenShot, the show where we have raw and unfiltered conversations about issues that we face as young people of Zimbabwe. So today the issue that we want to talk about is the issue of the value of education. I mean, with the emergence of social media, it seems like education is something that is not as important as it was before. And we want to raise the question of, is education still the key to success as we were told before? So joining me today to have this conversation are two wonderful ladies that are going to help me really get into this conversation. So I have Doris and Bulie. Hi guys.
Hi.
So Doris, can you first introduce yourself, and then Bulie, you can introduce yourself also.
Thank you. My name is Doris Chasokela. I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Science and Technology and the Faculty of Science and Technology Education.
Bulie?
My name is Bulie Nhlabano, aka Lady B, the creative. Yeah, from Bulawayo. Most of you know me.
Celebrity letu la namuhla. So today, ladies, I want us to get into putting a positive light on education. I mean, these days it's not so easy to tell our kids, our little sisters, our cousins that stay in school, have an education, do this, do that, because it seems like everyone has found an easy way out to making money. So I want us to first start off by talking about the benefits of education. Like, just from the top of your head, we've got an educator here, so obviously you teach kids in school, you want them to have a purpose in life. So can you tell us the benefits of education that you can think of?
Okay, what I can say is that education is very important because it builds your self-esteem. You can collaborate with the outside world, that is globally, regionally, and locally. Yes.
What about you, Bulie? What do you think?
Well, when it comes to education, basically I think education plays a major role when it comes to, for example, socially. When you are educated, you can have conversations with others, like she mentioned as well, that you can have a good self-esteem. But for those, for instance, I'll give an example. For those that are uneducated, when you have a conversation with them, they've got that inferior complexity thing, you know, that kind of thing. But when you're educated, you've got a self-esteem, you can develop, even if when you're taking a business, when you fail, it's easy for you to pick up and work, because from school you have those things like what we did when we were learning. We used to do corrections, and they term that. So it's the same as life. Uyawa, uvuki, ukiti. Those are the basics that we get as well from what? From education. So basically, that's my other.
I was watching a clip of Barack Obama talking about education, and he mentioned something about critical thinking. Like, I don't think we ever think about it. You know, sometimes you're faced with a situation and just thinking about it properly, and it does come from that education that you got. Let's look at things like fake news. See, I told you news, what's the most outrageous thing that I've seen today? Or like in the past weeks, something about her stealing
human trafficking.
And a story less is sapuma, and in every scenario okay. So sometimes when you don't have that critical thinking, but I've seen this before, is this true or is this not true? So I think it also comes from that. And what do we think about the term education is the key to success? I'm sure education is the key to success. Education is the key to success. How do we take that today in our modern world? What do we think of that term? Is education the key to success?
Well, I can say, if we say education is key to success, that's very complex. I can say yes, I can say no. Okay, maybe on the positive side, I can say education is key to success because it can assist us to collaborate. We can collaborate, get connected. You know, these days it's about the connection.
Exactly. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes, and if you've got that the education, you know, it's about the connection.
Okay.
Yes.
So is that the reason why we want to take our kids to those A schools, for the connections and rubbing shoulders with people in higher levels?
Basically, yes. Like she said, it's complex, but yeah, basically that's what it is. Because those schools, they mold children, right? Like they learn skills, attributes, and knowledge that will help them in life, and that's why they become successful. For example, if we take not like just researching in our Bulawayo city, for instance, if we compare the A students and that went to those schools, and there's a huge difference in a gap in that. And Abantwana Nhlabano, the A students from those schools, right? Ba excella, balama skills, attributes, and knowledge. That's why you can find somebody without a degree, and but he's a CEO, he owns a company, whilst you've got that degree, but you don't have sometimes the skills, the attributes, and knowledge on how to use that degree. So at times, schools as well mold us with the success done at the end.
So generally, so that's not fair, is it?
Yeah.
Like if you have a talented child, you know, there are some kids who are so academically gifted, we meet them all the time, but they can never reach the level that someone else who's not as equally talented reaches. Someone once said the A students end up working for the B and the C students. Like in life, that's just how generally it works. So imagine now you have a child who is excelling in school and she's getting A's and A's and A's and A's. How do you then now look at her and think you might never amount to your potential? That is really sad. So what do you think about the A schools thing? Do you think it does contribute to an unfairness, I guess, in our kids growing up?
But can I also add something before you go further on that? I think basically as well as the parents and the community as well have a major part to play. I remember when I was growing up, the primary school I went, there were different clubs there. We had clubs like wildlife, we had scouts, there was the media club and all those things, right? So from those clubs, when you take note, they were teaching us life skills, right? When you compare nowadays, we don't have those clubs anymore in most of the schools. It's mostly they go to school, they knock off, it's just sports. But we don't have those clubs on Alana that choose to mold. So I think
our education system might be flawed. Also, I think we might focus on maybe the, what do you call this, academics more than we focus on other talents, because I don't think success is measured entirely on academics. I mean, obviously, let's look at our sports stars. Okay, not in Zim, because Zim is just hard. Let's look at our Michael Jordan, you look at our Serena Williams and stuff like that. They excelled in sports, and they were nurtured like that. That's why I wanted us to talk about, what do we measure as success? What do we measure as success? What is success for us? What do we think success is? I think you are successful. You are a lecturer. For me, that is success. So, do you think you're successful?
I'm not successful. I cannot say I'm successful.
Okay.
You know, it's
What
now,
do you mean?
as I'm saying, you will find, now I have got some degrees, but there's somebody who doesn't even have an O-level certificate, but they are managing better than me. They are living a good life. You see, life is not fair at all.
But then how do we then motivate our kids to stay in school? Guys, school, get that education. Because I don't believe entirely Uguti Agula silver lining on going to school, getting that education. Or maybe we can say Uguti education is different. So let's talk about the different, we'll double back. Let's talk about the different types of education. Yeah.
the formal and the informal.
Formal and the informal.
Yeah, let's dive in more on the formal education.
Formal education, okay. Okay, formal education. The formal education, when we are talking about it, it's about attending school or college.
That's formal
education.
Informal, Bulie?
It's just, it can be done outside the classroom. So it can be done by the community, it can be done by the parents. Like the skill, I'll speak in Ndebele, I'm in Ndebele. Like the skill, yokulima, that's a skill that which falls under informal. So yeah.
So maybe we need to look at this kahle ukuthi sihlanganise both formal and informal education for abantu bethu ukuthi bekube successful because kunzima baningi abantu abahamba lapha with ama degrees and they are sitting at home, they are not doing anything, and it's not nice to look at. Even me, I was unemployed, I was not doing anything, but it's not like I did not want to or have the capabilities to.
But you had no connection.
But I didn't have the okuzenin. So let's talk about, like, as a society, disadvantages of having uneducated people, either formally and informally. As a so emphakathini wethu kwenzakalani if everyone was to say ukuthi thina kwesikolo sesishiya. Maybe you've seen it kulabantu esijayele ukubabona vele abanjani abangasayenzi, you've got dropouts and stuff. Let's talk about the disadvantages of having uneducated people in our societies.
I think as I mentioned in the beginning, I said that, you know, sometimes you get connected, you meet different people from all walks of life. You get connected globally, regionally, or locally. Since this is education, you meet so many people.
So manje maungayenzi lutho, you don't get those opportunities.
No, like, you do, but then you
going back to the formal and informal, right? We said you also gain what is skills and knowledge and attributes and that will help you in life. You're going to drop out, but if you have a skill, like for example, when you did e-voting, which is a hands-on and which you can learn, maybe it was passed from your ancestors, it's a hierarchy in the family. That's a skill that you have. So that on its own, like in the community, for example, that's when somebody has potani, I'm a potential customers, and so exactly. So it's through that concurrent informal and formal education. Yakufundisa critical thinking, yakufundisa to collaborate, to have a communication which is effective. Exactly, that discipline. There are some people, for example, that we can say in the community, control. That self-control, self-esteem, so isn't just enjoy formal and informal education. Those are the things that you learn that mold you into who you are, they mold your character and where you're heading to. So basically, yeah.
Let's go. Anyway, I was commenting the education system here in Zimbabwe. I feel like personally it's lacking in many areas in terms of how we are not moving ahead with the times. Labanye abantu are still stuck behind. Because if you go to a certain school, kule engineering department, if I tell you that they are still using machinery, I think obsolete. It's like in the same syllabus, with the way times have changed, that they are still using that same formula as a movie ahead with the times, and it's so hard to now look for a job and with the information online, and then so usebenza ngezitimelan, you can't even operate. So bullet train. There,
the gap is too much,
and the gap is too much, and you know, we are still behind. You are right. We are still behind. I think there is issue of funding. Infrastructure yethu vele. Now we are totally lab vele lama computers, ama students angu 20 but ama computers angu 10 kumbe angu 5. Akwanisa ukuba ngu 40 but amanye vele ngasasebenzi.
Lama softwares akhona.
And sometimes the machinery is there but it needs umuntu we German ukuthi ezolifundisa. Uyabungakwazi le lokho zeniyankhona imanual yankhona you can't even follow because it's in German or in any other language that you don't even understand.
So maybe that's the reason. Oh, is there anything you want to add, Bulie?
When it comes to education, what I realize with our system, some of the degrees that we have, they are not, relevant to Zim among that we have. And for instance, and then adding to that, some people just do degrees without a career guidance. And so when people do that, they attend degrees that become irrelevant at the end of the day. So it's quite demotivated. But first of all, you did a degree that you don't have much information. I'll give an example with accounting. And when it comes to accounting, you can find which we've got many accountants. They've got that degree, but they're not adding any value. They're not doing any courses or anything to pimp up that design, make it that degree.
I think accounting would be a safe bet. Like maybe like I know in biology or something like. I think accounting would be a safe bet because you're thinking there's companies and stuff. They always.
But then, how many companies do we have that need accountants? The numbers that we have, accounting degrees, it's more than the companies that we have. So, those courses degree like 2, 3 when it comes to practical, hands-on, like you're saying, technology to say move. Accounting has got some systems that they use to operate, of which was the system that they're using. Maybe it's 10 years back. System so you become a bit so gap when you go international. So is breaching a courses to catch up and get a job. So out of the country.
Still using a pen and a paper to those the accounting.
I think if curriculum yethu vele yona, I think it will a problem curriculum.
I think that's what makes us lose that value of education. We're not moving forward.
Yes.
You know, whether you like it or not, and if you guys have seen our Alice on site, Alice is an AI, artificial intelligence, and some people still can't grasp the concept of asimuntu oti. Hello, my name is Alice. You know, they still don't grasp that concept. Because
critical thinking skill
out on coffee dates and stuff. Because they don't seem to understand routine. And that's such a disadvantage for us in our in our societies. But personally, I still believe in the value of education. I still believe, but I wish we can encourage in. How do we encourage ama institutions to move with the times? What do we do? I think that's the thing.
Issue ekhona lapha kule issue ye funding yama resources. Ama resources we don't have enough resources.
We don't have so we don't have resources.
Yeah, they are not there. We don't have resources. Like now, like I'm in engineering. Like we are supposed to be using our softwares, but now you find what student software instead of the institution purchasing those. So will a problem so I'm will be institution. Is it the issue of funding?
Are there dialogues between institution lama students on how we can maybe improve
the equipment wasn't scattered donated to schools and we see useless, obsolete. Umuntu ayidonate isikwamgwambuza ama-computer ayi-20 of which is gathesi isebenzisana abantwana ama-tablets. So yabona lakho sometimes kokukusho ukuthi kuma-resources kule problem. Even if you're donating, let's donate that way into a push education improve. I can't donate is $20. Where's the
Is the curriculum changing though? Like over the years, has it changed?
Yeah.
Has it adapted to new environment?
I think we're getting there. Like there is recently really robotics lab is implemented in schools, which was implemented by Kosana, and I saw there is this other lady as well who's also doing that program. Exactly. There is this other lady and one day like who is doing that. So I think people are trying to bridge that gap because Garesi abantwana are being taught the parts of my engineering, coding, etc. At which by Ngati, for example, at our time we didn't have that. or Excel. And those were the things. But you know, at least we catch up with that, and they're also working at times with the ministry. So I think we're slowly but getting there.
Okay, maybe also our educators need to attend these workshops now to further their knowledge also ifakwe to the students. So anyway, guys, we've come to the end of our discussion, and ngiyabonga ukuthi lingijoinile today. But education
it's the foundation of everything.
I think we expressed a lot of discontenting areas.
So sometimes leveling yakwanisa ukuthi ngikuwe ukuthi hayi lapha ngicina lapha ngangqoqa.
Kuvindokulwa. Yabona like awusula lo muntu ofundile yana longafundanga. For something that's so yeah,
so thank you guys for watching this episode today. So please leave your likes and your comments, and if you have anything that you want us to discuss on the show that is like a social issues, please hit us up. We will discuss it. And if you have someone in mind that you want to come on the show, we are welcome to have all comments and we can engage. So siyabonga for joining us today. We'll see you next week. Bye.